due to infrastructure constraints. There wasn't high enough speed, low enough latency, all of those things. And so they said, hey, can we solve this hard problem? It was an intellectual curiosity thing. And so they built a prototype and they connected with the Monad team. And from there, they were able to basically build this out and became good friends with Monad, who at the time were really the only ones that were building at that time an EVM layer 1 and that were talking about order books. So that was kind of like a front run of the meta that we saw here, right? There was the Clob Wars and all of that from just a month or two back here. And so this is a problem that we've been working on trying to solve for some time here. So we launched as a Clob Dex, basically a place to be able to find, trade, and discover all of the coins that you want to trade on Monad. And so we've got here our homepage, right? The kind of like simple swap page that you've come to expect, right? So this is kind of like the baseline experience that when you come to Kuru, this is what you'll get as a baseline, right? You can swap one asset for another. Now, for a long time here, for the majority of our time being in existence, we've been, like I said, a Clob Dex, right? The central limit order book is where market makers can step in and provide really deep liquidity with a very small amount of capital, because they're matching buys and sells in the order book to provide a deeper liquidity than you would get from what we've typically used in DEXs, which has been an AMM, an automated market maker. Basically, the way to think about it is kind of like you're pouring all of this liquidity into a pool and people are scooping in and pouring into the pool, and it works. You'll always get a fill regardless of whether there's a counterparty, but it will be more inefficient than an actual person or algorithm like a market maker that's going to be connecting to your orders, right? So the central limit order book is a huge innovation, and we've been able to build that, and we will have it live on day one of Monad Mainnet, and we're really excited about it. So KB's just plugged in a swap for us here. Something that you might notice is that we just had a recent innovation, and I'm sorry for all the background, but this is just laying the foundation, and then we'll dive into the product in just a sec here. So the recent big innovation is that we're not just a central limit order book DEX here that is going to be one of the hopefully flagship DEXs for Monad. We've actually just introduced recently an aggregator, right? A smart aggregator. And what that means is that Kuru now is not going to only serve you the best price that's possible on Kuru. We are confident that on day one of Monad Mainnet, we'll give you the best price across the entire ecosystem for any asset that you want to trade. That means that not only will we be hosting on our site all of the assets that are live on Kuru, you'll be able to find and trade any coin that exists on Monad at any time, be able to get the best fill possible, all at the speed of Monad. So we're super excited about that. One of the things that KB is showing is, this is called a Sankey diagram. And basically what it's showing is, say you want to buy Mon and you want to go to Shimon. Now you can see in these different colors. So like for instance, in this place, the pink is being filled from Uniswap. The green is being filled from Kuru. The blue is being filled from PancakeSwap V2. And then the other blue is being filled from PancakeSwap V3. So now as an aggregator, rather than us just drawing on our own liquidity, which we still expect to be quite deep and competitive, we will also be drawing on all of these different liquidity sources to be able to give you the best price possible. Do you want to jump in, Tunes?
They're the same blue.
Are they the same?
I mean, I only see 3 colors.
I think the one is just very small, but you might.
Yeah, it's just a shade. It's just a shade of blue.
Size doesn't matter. It's okay. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, most men are colorblind, so you only see like a little bit of the colors.
That's why size matters.
Focused on things that matter. Anyways, continue.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. So in this instance, right, if you were only going to be buying, say, your Mon or your Shimon, doing your Mon to Shimon swap on Kuru, you would get a price that was not as good as if you through a number of different DEXs simultaneously. And Kuru will do that for you now, but it'll do it at the same speed as it would have happened for you in the past, just interacting with any regular old DEX. It'll get you better prices. And like I said, you're not just confined to coins that are going to be launched on Kuru. Like say there's a banger or a runner that gets launched on another launch pad or that lives on another DEX or whatever it is. We're quite confident that on day one of Monad Mainnet and through the entirety, our mission will be for Kuru to be the best place for you to trade that, right? So you can kind of think of Kuru in a way as an analog to the Jupiter of Monad, right? That's our goal, is to become this trading hub. And we have a lot of different features that are going to be built out for us to hopefully be able to continue to execute on that vision. So yeah, this is your front page where you can just make simple swaps and everything. And now we can click in. We've actually got a lot more features that undergird it here. In the top left corner, we're going to go into Pro mode here. So Pro mode will open you up into both the ability to find new coins and to trade new coins with all of the information you need to trade like a pro, right? So now this is actually kind of like a fun time to be giving this presentation, because we're kind of at the before stage. A lot of our app, you might have noticed if you've been following along on Twitter or Discord, which I recommend you join both, we've been redesigning the app. We brought in a full house or a in-house designer, and he's been doing really good work to make the app look a lot cleaner. And so there's a chance that this will go out tomorrow. We're still putting the just finishing touches on the technical pieces. It'll either go out tomorrow or Monday. I can actually give you guys a Monad Shark Tank sneak peek here. And we're going to be redesigning the next piece to get redesigned is actually the Discover page has already gotten its makeover. But within the next week, we will have not just Kuru native coins listed on Discover, but every Monad native coin will be available here, and you'll be able to find them, look at chart and let's do Shimon. Yeah. Shimon doesn't have the prettiest chart just because it's an LST, but it'll still give us the idea here. So we've got, so this is what like kind of our trading terminal interface looks like, right? So Kuru is a lot of different things rolled into one, which I think is why it's a little bit hard to explain. So forgive me for being a schizo, but we've got our simple swap page. We've got our Discover page where you can find all of your coins. Then you've got your trade page where you can see all the information that you need about a token to be really well informed when you're going to want to go about and trade it. Now, the thing that I'll say about this page is, in addition to Discover getting expanded with all those coins from Monad, don't get too attached to this page, because this is about to get redesigned within the next week here. So I'm excited to roll that out for you guys super soon. So if you want, this is like the last one of the last few times that you'll actually be able to interact with this interface, and it's getting a big upgrade. So I'm excited about that. We've got the order book here right in the center that KB just rolled over, that basically shows all of the depth of liquidity and the bids that are available on Shimon right now. That is kind of will still be important insofar as being able to set limit orders in the future, but will actually in some ways be de-emphasized by Kuru moving to our aggregator model. We'll basically just be able to get you the best fill regardless of whether the liquidity lives on an order book or on an AMM. And so swaps that will be done on the pro mode page will route through any of the best routes, just like we will on the front page. And so you'll be able to get those different fills on market buys. And then limit orders, you may or may not know what a limit order is, but basically it's giving you the exact entry that you want, right? So maybe you say, hey, I'm not a fan of buying Shimon at its exact price of 1.013 Mon. I want to wait to buy until, maybe it falls to 0.99 Mon or 1 Mon exactly. And so you can put in that price that you want to wait for it to go, put in the size of Shimon that you want to buy, and then you can place that limit order in one click here. One of the things, love it. You gotta love the technical difficulties, guys. I feel like Mark Zuckerberg when he was doing his Meta presentation. There we go. Okay, we got it. It was an RPC, so we'll just blame it on the RPCs. That's okay. But so we placed a limit order. And so one of the things to note about this page, and you might have noticed KB just did that trade in one click. So we have Privy enabled on Pro mode. So the thing is, you create a new wallet and then you fund it with Mon, and then it enables you to interact with the site and place trades with one click. Now, there is like something to consider with privy wallets, right? Not everybody is the biggest fan of them, but I think that the embedded wallets are a huge help, because if you're going to use this as a trading terminal, seconds can mean multiples in the trenches. So I think it's really important. I mean, that's just so cool. I love it's just actually awesome how fast the swaps take place on Kuru. I know I'm biased, but like it just comes so fast. That's honestly the chain. So shout out to the team. Shout out to James, one commit. But yeah, it's been a great. So that's just one of the things, is that you can do these one-click trades, so that you can get in and out of all of the assets that you want to do as fast as possible. Yeah, and then down below, KB already showed this, but you can see your trades. You can even access your portfolio. You can look at your open orders, which is the limit order that we have going on right now. And if you go over to claim, you can claim your tokens from if you had a limit order that was filled, right? So KB, it looks like in the past maybe had okay, so she could claim the MON from her limit order right now if she wanted to, but she doesn't need to. That would just, I think, effectively cancel her limit order, because she's deposited that MON to wait for the Shimon to hit that limit order. So good stuff. We can click in. Just the last piece that I really want to show you guys is liquidity here. So liquidity, like we said, is how coins, how you are able to make buys and sells. There's a few different ways. This is where it's slightly complicated, but there's a few different ways on Kuru to deploy liquidity, right? And this is important to us because we want to democratize liquidity access for users across the ecosystem, right? We want to make it possible for you to both get the best fills possible by having market makers step in, but also ensure that if there's tokens that aren't maybe big enough or interesting to a market maker to be profitable for them to deploy liquidity, that there can still be vibrant trading that can take place on those assets. So what we've done, I won't go into all of the technical details of it, but we've essentially made an AMM and a concentrated liquidity concentrated liquidity market positions that can live on top of the order book. So essentially, Uniswap V2 positions and Uniswap V3 concentrated liquidity positions that can live on top of the order book, right? So the way to think about it is they're all seamless. They all take place on the same order book, so they're all composable. They work together. If you're deploying liquidity in this way, market makers can still step in and provide liquidity, but your liquidity will live on and be able to provide fees. So the basic way to understand this is Uniswap V2, or the basic level of like an AMM liquidity, is that, say you're going to take like $1,000 and you want to deploy liquidity on Shimon. You're going to take that $1,000 and you're going to spread it from 0 all the way to like infinity MON price points, right? It's going to be going on and on and on forever. So it's just inherently very inefficient, right? You're not going to be getting, since it's spread across so many price points, the amount of MON that you have where the price action is actually taking place is going to be so small that you will only be earning a small amount of fees. But it's still helpful for a number of different assets, right? Where things are volatile or there's price discovery happening. You still want it as a baseline, but it's inefficient, right? Now, the better way, especially for assets like stable coins or for liquid staking tokens, LSTs, is to use a concentrated liquidity band. And this is actually a DeFi primitive that our team has pioneered, which is creating concentrated liquidity positions on top of the order book. And so what you can do is you can basically set a large amount of limit orders within a range where these limit orders ping pong back and forth to simulate a concentrated liquidity position within the range that you select. So this unlocks a great deal more of capital efficiency for especially LPers on stablecoins and liquid staking tokens, but you're able to define your strategy to make it for whatever token you want to deploy this for, right? You just kind of have to have an active sense of where the market is going in the same way as a market maker if you want to deploy concentrated liquidity. But Yeah, so KB is showing us here what the interface looks like. This is showing us the range that we're setting our liquidity in. So remember how earlier I said if we had 1,000 mon and we spread it across the entire range, it's very inefficient. Say we're depositing 1,000 mon here. From that top of the band to the bottom of the band, all of our 1,000 mon of liquidity is being deposited in that range. And so as the price moves up and down, much more of our mon is going to be hit and going to be used. So it's going to provide more fees for us, right? We're going to get a better yield out of it. And we're also going to provide better, deeper liquidity for users that are on the other end of those trades. Like I said, though, the thing is, if mon moved outside of your range, all of your liquidity would be functionally sitting useless. So you have to have some sense of where you think the market is going, maybe actively adjust it every day or a few days or whatever it is, just to keep an eye on things. But for those static assets like stables and LSTs, this is a big unlock, in addition to allowing market makers to still step in. So I think that that's the big piece. The only other thing that I'll mention just super briefly is that we do have a launch pad that is enabled on our site right now. It's at the top. It's called Launch. It has never been a core product for us, but we had it enabled at the beginning of testnet because launching order book markets was quite complex. And so this allows you to launch a new coin with 3 fields. And the plan right now is that as we're finishing the redesign, our goal is to get this product of the Launchpad to feature parity with Pump Fund. So we'll be introducing a bonding curve, the ability to buy up some of the supply as the dev when you first launch the token, but that's still coming in the future. And the Launchpad is something that we really enjoy. We think people have had a lot of fun with. We had a great activation called Mob the Clob some time ago where everybody launched different tokens, and we had some great cults come out of that, like Jerry and Chad and KOL, which are all stud coins. But yeah, the Launchpad is still kind of one of those last pieces that need for Guru. So I know there's a lot that we ran through there, and yeah, I mean, I'm a little tired, but hey, I appreciate you guys being along for the ride, and we are seeking 1 Wendy's 5 for 5 in exchange for no stake in our company. So thank you for listening to our presentation.
All right, that was pretty good. What is this timer at the top? What are we counting down to?
Oh yeah, good question. That is for the Clob Monsters, which have been a testnet fun campaign that we've been running. KB, I don't know. Do you have your Clob Monster made? Could we click in?
Let's see. Here he is.
Oh, wow. Something wrong on the site, or it might just be, I'm not sure if it's something about the Mon contract or whatever.
Yeah,
but yeah,
here we
so
go.
here's
This one.
where we have the different options. Let's say we were going to set this for a priori mon. So yeah, there's three different types of different LP positions that you have. So you have spot, bid ask, and curve. So let's say you have a spot position right here, right? Spot liquidity is basically going to be providing liquidity in a small range right around the current market price. That's the spot price, right? So you're kind of acting like a market maker who's going to provide depth exactly where the trades are happening. And you can earn fees pretty efficiently, but if the price moves outside of where that spot price is, your liquidity is going to go idle really quickly. So you're parking your tokens at like the price that it is today, but so you have a high fee yield when it's active, but you have to rebalance pretty frequently if the price is going to move. Now, let's say you went to a bid ask position, right? You're going to position liquidity below or above the current spot price, but you're not going to like straddle right on it, right? So you're going to wait to buy the token if the price falls on the bid side. You're going to wait to sell the token if the price rises on the ask side. You won't earn fees until your price moves into your range. You're kind of setting limit orders to kind of like come and take that place, but you're being directional. You're kind of expressing a view that you think that the price is going to go up to the asks or it's going to go down to the bids. And then you have curve liquidity, right, which is a lot like what you would have in a Uniswap V2 position, but you're basically like compressing the curve to have a you're compressing it from, instead of being across like the huge range, you're having it be in a shape, right? So you can have a shape where it's just kind of smaller and you have balanced continuous exposure across like this wider band, which is kind of like your classic AMM. So basically different tokens will warrant different strategies that you want to take, and there's little recommendations that are here. Full is just like a standard AMM curve. So like for instance, you'll with spot be able to use that for most markets. For bid ask, you probably would want to do that for maybe like a meme coin or something like that, where you think it might be fluctuating within your range. And then the curve would be good for assets that are going to stay pretty steady in that band, like stables or pairs where price doesn't change often, for instance, like a liquid staking token. So yeah, that's your optionality there. And then fees, you can choose different fees. I think that fees are a function of I'm not gonna lie, I'm not exactly sure how the different fees factor into how you're going to be deploying your different strategies and everything. But I think that it probably has something to do with like the depth of liquidity that you're placing there. I'll have to check with the team on that. But that is how the different strategies work. And I don't know. I think that there are some. I'm not exactly sure where the exotic pairs come into play there, but yeah.
So wait, so when you click on the different ones, is the thing at the bottom supposed to be changing? Like the price chart? Like when you click on spot versus curve, is that price chart at the bottom? Are the bars on the right? Like, is it supposed to be changing?
No, you change it yourself to where you want
But
to
so
set
what
it.
are the bars on the right showing the current liquidity?
I think that's the case. Yeah.
Oh.
This right here.
I feel like what could make sense is, I guess, or I don't know. It's a little, yeah. I would just say that it's kind of not clear. Like I
know if they're if the reflection is being shown in the right way there. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, because it's just kind of confusing. Like the price, it's like, because this price chart thing, I've never seen this before, and so at first it's a little confusing. But then you figure it out, and you're like, oh, okay. And my interpretation is that it's meant to visualize what your liquidity will look like as you deploy it. But I don't know. but it's not really doing that. So either I'm misunderstanding or I don't know. But that's
I think you're right that it isn't something that's common or seen before. So I do think that there should be more clarity. I don't think you're wrong.
but it's cool.
Yeah.
I like that because I think that's like a great kind of like yeah, you're I guess democratizing access to providing liquidity in a simple way because honestly I've never done an LP on like a uni V3 pool or something because it's just confusing to me and I'm just like if I don't understand it I don't want to do it because I don't want to get scammed or whatever. But if you can visualize for me how exactly my liquidity will be deployed and how my like what it does when I set a 1% fee or 2% fee and just make it really clear and obvious to the user, that will definitely encourage people to provide liquidity for lots of pairs. And yeah, open up this.
Yeah, I think a
cool.
breakdown of all of this would be really cool and interesting and probably something that I should work on and try to like explain it to the left curve, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but it's almost there.
Yeah, I think you're right. There just need a little bit more like, well, how easy is this? Like, it's so easy that you're kind of like, wait, why is it so easy? And explaining that part would probably be very beneficial for us and for the people using it and being able to LP for the first time. It's extremely user friendly.
Yeah, also it could be cool to like potentially just you're right, just write it down as an idea. There I feel like it would be cool if there was almost like a exit position like option where it's like place like if you want to sell like we will like deploy your tokens as liquidity in this way so that when price goes down it sells with minimal slippage, you know what I mean? Like because a lot of times what people will do especially in AMMs is they'll just one shot their bags and then they'll take like a 5 or 8% like slippage fee and they lose a bunch. But if you could provide users with a pretty intuitive like, hey, you want to exit your position, here's the optimal way for you to place to sell off your position or place your inventory in the order book or something like that. I don't know, but
So you're talking
stuff like
almost
that
like
would be cool. What's that?
almost like scaled limit orders or something like that, where it would
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah,
Just
that's
kind of like making it because it's like this kind of visualization is very, very cool for users because it's just almost it's letting people become more sophisticated. It's like simplifying it, which can save them money, right? So yeah, I don't know, but I really like the way that this is really cool that you can just you're visualizing the different ways you can deploy liquidity. It's very cool. But yeah, I think that but then
Do
the
you think
price chart is a little
like
confusing.
video content would be good too to kind of like explain each one?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Kind of
Because
like
this
a
is
like a
pretty.
humor TikTok.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
for sure.
Noted. I feel the same.
But the price chart thing is a little confusing, I think, at the bottom.
Yeah.
But this is really cool.
The price chart I think is less to visualize the liquidity that you're deploying. I think so much as to allow you to like show you past price action and set the range that you want to deploy into. Does that make sense? Maybe
Yeah, but then why not just show me? Or actually, here, click on when you type in a number on the mon. Maybe that's why it's not showing. Yeah. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, okay. So it does. I see. Yeah, I think what I would say is these bars. So this is really good actually, but the problem is that it's not. It looks very different than the existing liquidity, right? So the two need to be viewed in one seamless thing. You know what I mean? So that I can see where my orders fall within the existing liquidity. Like just view it like rather than have like these like two separate like bars and bars. If it could be shown as one holistic like order book, that would be very cool.
Okay, I know what you're. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, no, that's interesting, and I think that I know that we're doing some different functionality in terms of like interaction with the order book for placing limit orders on the new trade page. But yeah, I think that there's definitely some stuff that we could do in terms of making the visualization on this better. So yeah, I'm with you.
Nice. Okay,
A lot of
cool.
changes coming soon, like this week as well. So I think we'll
Yeah, I would
probably
even test out like maybe the deposit should be above the other stuff. Like that.
like this should be
Yeah,
up here.
yeah, because the first thing you think is size, and then I think second you think how do I want to deploy the size? But maybe I don't know. Because then what it would do for the user is you do the amounts, and then as you're clicking on spot, curve, bid, ask, you're seeing that reflected in the order book live. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I think. I think like the user should, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here, but I just think that the idea of like being able to click spot, curve, and bid, ask, and then getting immediate feedback on exactly how that liquidity will look in the existing order book in a very seamless way is very cool. But right now they're so far away that you have to click it and then scroll and then click and scroll. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Also, like I'm kind of like, can do that, but then it's tiny. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because that's really cool. Because I think a lot of, I mean, I'm just really speaking from my own personal experience, but most people aren't very concerned with deploying liquidity. But if you made it simple and made it very intuitive, more people definitely would. And, show them expected yield or something.
Right. I see what you're saying, though. I think it would look better for it to all be like kind of seamless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Thanks, James.
Nice. And then you're gonna get a feature parity with Pump Fun. Nice. Excellent. Yeah, this is very cool. And then so when perps?
Yeah, good question. I mean, not in the roadmap right now. I mean, I could see us maybe thinking about it somewhere down the line, but that would be, I think, on the order of years. So yeah, right now we're just spot only. That's the play. Perps on Purple and Drake, maybe elsewhere.
Yeah, perps are a totally different beast. But yeah, very cool, very cool. Okay, sweet. Yeah, this is pretty good. John and Bill, what are your thoughts here? I'm sure you guys have been super locked in on the entire presentation.
Yeah, I actually have. I think it's pretty cool that something like this is being built on Monad because of the technology that it brings. It's pretty fascinating that you get this asynchronous execution pipeline development. So I think it's really cool, and I'm glad you guys are building it on Monad. And I think the user interface is very cool. And I'm really looking forward to the end of the countdown. I'm really looking forward to perps, which I know are another animal. So we're just like, it's going to be pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. And I think I do have a question. My question is, I would say, what is something that you, I guess, for Cozy or KB, what are you most looking forward to in like the next like couple months, like for Kuru specifically?
Wow, that was the most I'm not paying attention for shit response ever. You just straight up rambled for 60 seconds and said, "What are you looking forward to?" There is no part of that answer had anything to do with anything they've said the past 30 minutes.
Actually, if you were listening to the presentation, you would realize that my answer actually had everything to do with the presentation, and the fact that you didn't pick up on it clearly means
Unreal.
presentation.
Unreal.
So I think it's unreal that you didn't even listen to the presentation and you didn't think what I just said was relevant to the presentation.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
But yeah, KB and Kobe answered the question. And Cozy.
Rosie, you wanna? I think we're both excited for like mainnet, and then just to see how like the community blossoms from there, because we're definitely yeah, like we're dependent on our users, and so really want to see that testnet energy go into mainnet, and see how the community forms.
Yeah, I've said before that I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm excited about with regard to mainnet in the future. I think it's true for Kuru and for Monad though. Just to piggyback off of what KB said, what I'm really excited for is like just like 6 months post mainnet launch. Regardless of what happens, I think there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. I think that a lot of people are going to get shaken out, both in a financial position wise and also just in terms of like their kind of like long-term commitment. I don't think you should blindly marry Monad or anything like that, but I'm excited to see the people that are going to double down and are going to continue to build and be around, and who I just think of the Solana days, because those were when I was new to crypto. I remember like Soul Big Brain and like Cozy the Caller and like all of these guys like coming out of like those dark Solana days as like the Solana personalities. And I don't wish like dark Monad days on us, but we're gonna have up days and down days. So I'm really looking forward to like who of the community just kind of like sticks around, continues to build their brand, but not just in kind of like the testnet hype phase, but is around for the long haul. I'm excited for that for us and for Monad.
Awesome.
Till Monday.
Yeah, guys, been locked in on this, but I think you guys covered it pretty well. With the what is it called? The Monad Momentum, the ecosystem momentum program. It's like the matching. So Monad matches the incentives that the teams think up and craft. So it's like kind of a unique approach for each team. Any ideas for that? What are the incentives going to look like? That
Wait,
kind
are
of stuff.
you trying to get early alpha out of us, Bill Monday?
Any ideas for that? Any upcoming ideas for Monad Momentum?
Have they even been accepted?
We can't give you the sauce.
They haven't even been accepted, Bill.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, like,
so any
we're saving
ideas
a
for that, like of what you could do in order to get accepted? Any fun incentives that you guys could run? Do you guys know how conversation works? We build, we go yes and. Jeez.
Well, I can't give away any of the alpha, but we are applying to Monad Momentum for sure. And I guess the most that I can say is that we see our goal for going into mainnet is to be in max distribution mode. Now that should not be taken to be like a crazy token thing, but we want to use the fees that we collect as a way to give back to the community. So we're going for, our kind of motto is like, if you're in max extraction, pivot to max distribution. So that's something that we're really going to lean into, and excited about some of the growth experiments that we have for the very beginning of Monad to hopefully, maybe get some juiced rewards with Monad Momentum. But regardless, we'll be trying to give back.
Yeah, and I also will say one thing about the program. If you're a lucky person, I would definitely keep an eye out.
Good teaser. Nice.
Yeah. Some people are lucky, and I think that's all about also like manifestation and like power mind. So if you think you're a lucky person, this is gonna be good for you.
Max distribution and scandling, I guess. Awesome.
And luck.
And also, I
luck.
know that I think I have a special role in the crew Discord. So what does
It's
that mean
called
for me?
farmer. You're a farmer. You get nothing.
Well, it's been real. It's been fun, but I can't say it's been real fun.
Hey, that's my line.
It's been nice. It's been bed. It's been good. It's been pillow. It's been.
Wait, we got another presenter.
Let's do it, bro.
Okay. Havo, if you're up here.
Well, do you have any final words, Cozy and KB? Any last words?
My only final words are crew, Trading Hub for Monad. Appreciate you guys having us. We love Shark Tank. We love Monad. And I just got word. Stay tuned for the redesign dropping next week. We're still putting the finishing touches on, but likely Monday we'll be getting that Discover page refresh and the trade page makeover like we talked about. So yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us. And if you haven't already, join the Discord and come on in and hang out. And yeah, maybe I'll be giving away some roles. Not a lot. Chill out. But yeah, come in and hang out.
All right. Let's go, Ava.
All right. Thank you for my turn. Thank you for the invite, John. It's a pleasure to be here.
Can you speak up? We can't hear you.
Is this better? Can you hear me better now?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, John. Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I'll present a little bit about Making. I'll keep it short. I paid attention to the whole previous presentation, by the way. I am a big fan of depositing liquidity. I try to keep it concentrated, but also do some spot and curve. So yeah, let me spin up the presentation real quick. See. Let's start from the first slide. So, Moya King. I'll tell you a little bit about the history first. Let's keep it short. So, what is Moya King, right? Here we can see the base of the art. So, what do people really need? It's a good question. Why is it related to NFT, you ask? Is it art? Is it about vibes? Or is it about community? These are the questions that everybody asks, but I think it's food. And but Moyaki is not food. And so, what is Moyaking in the end? Is it feelings? I think it's about feelings. So in the end, it's about art and all of those things. So that's the base for a good NFT. Then Moyaki is also really based in replications and immortality. So we are here for the long run. And the community is here to stay. Because as Moyaki came up, is that it's a open source pattern and anyone can use it. So I'll tell you more about that in the future presentation. And the last thing is that Moyaking is a DAO's parallel execution, treasury, governance paradigm in transactions, mutability through fair distribution mechanisms. Yeah. So as you know, like I'm not the best person to explain technically. That's why, yeah, this is me. That's why you should forward all questions to Paul, who is like my good friend. I met him in Thailand for the first time, and at first I didn't know he's building Making, and he hit me up, and we hit it off. We have good communication, so I like what he's doing. You can see beautiful T-shirts. And he's been part of multiple IRL events where people could speak to him. So yeah, he's the guy to talk to about the technical stuff. Here's more about art. Here's a 101 for Mondalf. here's a little montage of the one-on-ones we made. And utility. So it's a big question everybody asks. What is the utility of a token? So what Paul is building is actually a launchpad of it. So he's building Mondaw's launchpad, which I guess our biggest competitor is DAO's World, which where you can launch as well AI tokens, but mostly DAOs. And here you can read more about the utilities of holding the tokens. So it's a membership card, basically for the launchpad. Again, Paul knows the best about the launchpad. He's keeping the development, so that keeps going. As I said, I try to keep it short. I can show you more on the socials, or maybe talk about some other projects that I'm working on. If you like to ask some questions, I'm always open. And yeah, it was. I'm happy to be here, and thank you all for your attention. Go follow Maya King. I appreciate it. And that
Amazing.
was the last slide. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Do you mind showing your Twitter? I know you have it right here, but do you mind like pulling up your like? Is it possible to pull up the page without like turbo doxing?
Yeah, I have it open here. So this is the Maya King Twitter.
Amazing.
Or are you asking about?
Yeah, this is it. Very nice.
Yeah. So here's some collabs with other projects. We have like deep connections with other NFT projects, and we're trying to collaborate together. This is the base, artwork, or the base character. Let me put it that way. Here's shout out to Glitter. And we have some baddies. Oh, and yeah.
Awesome. Hey, boy, I feel like you've been in the community for like a while. Do you mind telling us like how you got into Monad community, or like when you started? Like, what's your journey been?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've been like following, let's say, blockchain to put it in parentheses, for a longer time. I studied it, and I was mostly like DCA, into BTC and like Ethereum, and I was just following on YouTube some like guys that I've been following from like the university days, and they mentioned like Monad, and they didn't say much. It's like if you want to like check out some Discord, now it's like good time, and go Monad. And I joined. Was it like January, like 2024 or 25? Yeah, 24. And yeah, at that time it was like kind of smaller community, and I got basically full access the first day, so that was funny because I created my PFP, and I got it right after that. So that sort of set me for the whole journey, I think, because I was following more that kind of artwork. And yeah, so I think I like fit in that way, and I also have like a funny story that I got like kicked out in the same day and got in. And since then there's been like a lot of like crazy stories at the start, so that's what sucked me deeper into Monad.
Awesome. Well, all of those events led you to this very stage right now, and whatever else comes your way in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy to be here always, and yeah, it's nice to have like actually community in crypto. Like before, it was mostly like local, but then like the Corona times hit, and everybody was at home. So yeah, thank you guys for building this.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks for coming on. Cool. That basically, unless Bill or Toons or Mike, unless you have anything to add, real quick, I'll just stop unless you got anything or nothing. Going once, going twice.
No, not really.
Yeah, it was a good presentation.
It was good.
Coming
Yeah.
up, Pablo.
Cool. All right. Well, you know what? Havo, do you mind stopping screen sharing real quick? Because
Can you please just
Yeah, of course.
thank you. This means we can do a little We can do a little. What were you feeling? Some marbles, fellas and fellas? Anyone trying to do marbles? Anyone? Anyone? Let me see. Oh, I guess no one's. Let's see.
I want to play marbles. Let's do it.
Okay, all right. One sec. I got to respond to one message real quick. It's a very important message. I just need 10 seconds. Hold on. I'm sending a very okay. That message has been sent. Well, first things first, I gotta close all my other tabs. So did I just leave Discord? No, Discord's still open. Okay, I gotta close all my other tabs so I don't accidentally dox myself because I'm currently sitting on the floor of my apartment. I'm not at my desk. I wanted to change things up today just to get a little bit change of scenery. So I'm gonna go over here and open up this. Now I'm gonna make sure that there's not anything that can dox, especially nowadays. Share screen. Okay, screens. Wait. Share your screen. Okay, Mike, can someone do you see Google right now?
Yep, we can see Google.
Okay.
And we can see all your bookmarks.
What?
I'm joking. It's okay, don't worry.
That are really bad. This is my work computer too, but I don't really give a fuck. My bookmarks are terrible. It's me.
When I'm going to install AdBlock, bro, this is getting crazy.
I don't know how to do that. Open. All right. So set up race. Laps. 1 lap. Add no. Position marbles, add marbles, select marbles, red, green, blue, pink, boom, boom. We're going to do 6. All right, I'm not even looking at Discord. I'm just going to look at my phone. Red, blue, pink, black, purple, green. All right, feel like red can be Havo. Feel like that's something that's, nice. He presents it so he can be red. Gleader's going to be blue. I feel like I saw Crucified in the comments. You can be pink. Is KB still up here?
No, she left. She and Cozy. Not anymore.
All right, well, I guess we're not going to make them... let's just, look at the audience right now. Who the fuck is this? Ephraim, you're going to be black. This is how you guys can see the process. It's completely random. All right. Zubrick, 1K. It's just Zubrick. You're purple. Zubrick, you're purple. All right. Now we got one more. It's going to be green. Sleepy avocado. Okay. Red's Havo, blue's Gleader, pink's Crucified, black is Ephraim, purple's Zubrick, and green is Sleepy Avocado. I want to get some music on here.